the first of the month.
What's up, girl gang? Welcome back to another episode of The Girls Room with Clarissa, season 2. I had 2 twos, so that would be 4. Season 2. Today's going to be a quick little episode because I am still getting this house together, still working and still trying to get things done. And as you guys know, I film this episode or this podcast every single week so that it's current and up to date because I think it's more fun that way. And the pre-recording thing, and I'm just not someone that like really plans ahead or thinks about topics that far in advance. So I like to make this as authentic as possible to what's actually going on in my life and sharing with you guys and hoping that it's relatable. And yeah, so we've been in the house officially for like a week, and it's been so interesting because I kind of feel like I'm in an Airbnb. Like sometimes I'm starting to finally get used to it. The dogs, well, Rue is used to it. Luna is just starting to realize like, okay, I live here. We're not on vacation. And honestly, so am I. So I don't blame her. But it's been so crazy. So I think I talked about this last time. I haven't edited that episode yet because I've had no time. But, you know, I'm having such imposter syndrome. I'm really taking things into my own hands during this time. I really cut back on the salon. Like I know I told you guys that. And I had therapy this morning, and I just, you know, I'm having so many feelings of I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not an entrepreneur. And, you know, my therapist is like, actually, you sound just like every single entrepreneur that I've ever worked with, not just the people that have sold like 6 startups, but also the people that are in your position that are brand new and starting up like their business. And she said, like, I think you actually are more of an entrepreneur than you think. And I guess I never considered myself one because, again, I just never thought I was smart enough, creative enough. And with all these transitions and changes that I've been through, that feeling has gotten stronger. And she said, you know, people feel like that even when they're the most successful. They feel just like how you feel now, like even with all the money in the world. And it's just feelings of self-esteem and confidence and trying to like really build that and, you know, get out of my own way and give myself a little bit of credit for all the chances that I've taken. But it's not an easy thing to do. And, you know, being in your 30s, figuring this stuff out, it feels like I'm late to the party. It feels like, I don't know, I just don't feel any stability. And that's also because of like the amount of times that I've moved in the last few years has just been insane. Like I think I moved 4 or 5 times in 4 years. So it's a lot, you know, it's a lot for one person to manage all of those life changes and show up. And right now there's like all this hurricane stuff going on, which is like so heavy. And that also like, you know, puts things into perspective. I'm obviously not affected, but just seeing like all of these people lose absolutely everything. It's devastating. And there's another one coming today, literally. Obviously, you'll be seeing this after, but it's just crazy. And I don't know, everything just feels so heavy. Maybe it's because it's an election year, and that always just causes so much division and controversy, and it makes everything like this or that. And it just puts so much pressure on things, and people are always so passionate, and rightfully so. And I don't know, it's just a weird time to be alive. And I think all of those feelings kind of settle into one, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm kind of just talking today. This episode's probably going to be terrible. I apologize in advance. But this is real. This is where I'm at. This is how I feel. I had 2 calls today, which I think these 2 calls are people that will be my clients, which is amazing. But there's so much anxiety just leaving a job I've been at for 8 years and a career that I've put so much time into. And I've definitely, maybe this sounds repetitive, but these feelings aren't just fleeting. They will eventually not be there anymore, but they're very much there still because I'm still in the midst of so many different things. And it's just heavy. So I've been trying to be better. I think my camera is about to die, so that's great. Camera died. But I did buy this dummy battery thing that you plug in, and I just put that in. I got that for when me and Tony did the episode together, which shout out to Tony for doing that episode with me. I don't know if you guys know her. This just jumped to another topic, but I don't know if you guys know her. She's pretty big on TikTok. I think she's 40 or 50,000 followers. She's hilarious. If you watch the episode, you would know that. And I love doing these neighborhood girls that grew up like I did. Real New Yorkers. I think it's I don't know. It's just more relatable for me, at least, because it's we vibe about the same things. And honestly, it was the most comfortable interview I've ever done, which was really cool because I'm always so nervous, and that one was just didn't make me feel like that, because we were really just shooting the shit, and I really loved that. But anyway, so all of these feelings, and what do I do about them? I'm trying really hard to stop being so hard on myself. I'm not doing a good job. I will be very honest about the dialogue in my head. You're stupid, you're ugly, you're the worst, you're not talented, you have no creativity. Who the fuck would want to work with you? You're a disaster. Something along those lines. Those are kind of the things that go through my head. And it's so funny. I feel like people think that because you put yourself out there and because you have a podcast or something like that, that you don't have that you are comfortable all the time showing up on camera, that you are comfortable putting yourself out there. And it's not a matter of comfort. Yes, I might be more comfortable than the next person talking on a camera, but it's a muscle. It's like a muscle, like any muscle. Content creation is a muscle that you work. And you're cringe and you go through a phase like that, and then you finally get to a place where you're not so cringe, or maybe you are sometimes to someone, but you don't feel as cringy doing it. And that takes practice. If I look at some of my old videos, I'm like, ugh, ugh. Even now, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, ugh. It's never you're just 1,000% loving the way you look or the way you sound. Listening to your own voice on its alone is a fucking nightmare for most people, including me, especially when you have to edit yourself. I wish I could get a podcast editor. It's on my list of things once I have some more income, that I can just record this podcast and send it to someone else, and they can give me the clips for social media and all of that, because it's been so overwhelming. I didn't even get to market the episode with Tonesy the way I wanted to because I just had no time in the midst of a move and everything. So, I think people think that there's not fear when you choose to do something like this, but it's all just doing it scared and doing it because you can see the bigger picture, whether it works out or not. You have the vision, so you go after it. And what I'm realizing is that I truly don't want a regular life. And I know that, and I don't mean that in a sense of I want to be filthy rich or something like that. I just mean that I don't want to ever worry about money. I want financial and time freedom. because time freedom is priceless. It is something that most people don't get because they just are comfortable in their job and they don't want to leave. And I've come to the realization that like having a boss asking for permission to go on vacation, asking for permission to take off to do anything, I don't want that. Like, I cannot imagine having a regular job, a corporate job, even doing hair. It's not so like restricted the way like a 9 to 5 is. And a 9 to 5 for some people is the dream. You know, they do have a different type of time freedom because entrepreneurs, you know, are usually working more than everyone, but then the freedom to just go work from another city, state, country, whatever is also there. And I think it's also glamorized the entrepreneurial journey, but it's like the most gritty work ever. And I'm saying this as someone that's very low level on the entrepreneur scale because like I said, still don't view myself as someone that is that or that is like good enough to be labeled that. I don't know why. My therapist is like, you literally have that same mindset. And I don't know, maybe it's because that's just a comparison game. You know, I think a lot of things are comparison game. I also like, this is how much I'm thriving. I did an oil treatment last night and did not wash it out correctly at all. So this is what my freshly blown out hair looks like a fucking stringy grease bucket. And I'm just too fucking tired to care. So here I am. My hair got so long though. And full. But it's just not an easy thing. You just like have to deconstruct everything that you ever have been like taught to know. Like, I feel like so many people want the stability of a 9 to 5, and for me, I couldn't run faster from it. I don't know if I'm even making sense right now, to be honest with you. I'm really struggling. My ADHD has been like on another level too, and that's not really been easy. I'm having like paralysis with productivity. I am getting things done, but I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I think, you know, Amanda is my partner, and she also puts that kind of pressure on herself, I feel like, where she could be doing more, or kind of like type A, like wants everything done and perfect. And I think like that then creates where we're both trying to get things done, and then we both are putting like a pressure on things where it's like, in reality, like we just bought a house. Like, things take time. A house doesn't become a home in a week or in a month or in 6 months. It takes time, and you want to put thought into the pieces that you're buying. And, you know, we're going to be here for a long time. So I don't know how I got on that, but you would see this is just how my brain's working today. So you get what you get, and you don't get upset today. And hopefully this is relatable for someone, and like you can follow what I'm saying if it makes any sense. But, you know, it's not easy putting yourself out there. It's not easy taking a chance on yourself. I'm very lucky with my support system. And I differentiated today that, you know, are these feelings of not being good enough fundamental or environmental? My therapist asked me, like, is it your environment? Is it the people around you? And no, it's not. I couldn't have more supportive, like friends, family, partner, all dogs, all of the things. Like, people in my life see my vision too and believe in me, and I'm so blessed to have that. I'm so blessed. I don't take it for granted. It's incredible. But at the same time, because we got to find a negative where there's a positive, it almost it's like a pressure almost where it's like they know I'm going to succeed. So now I have to succeed, even though regardless I have to, it puts pressure. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but this is what where my head is at. It's like, you don't want to let people down, right? You don't want to fail. You don't want to let yourself down. I don't want to fail. I will fail. I've failed many times, and you get back up, and failure is a part of this journey naturally. You know, you get a lot of no's before you get the yeses. And that's normal. So I'm not scared of failure. I'm scared of failure in totality, if that makes any sense. So like being a complete failure, like it doesn't work, it falls through, and then you never get back up. You don't recover. And then you're working some job you hate. So that fear has to really drive me, because it's like the last thing that I want. And then sometimes I feel like, do I even know what I want to do? I don't know, because low key, I think we all just like don't really want to work, right? Or is it just me? No, I mean, I would love to do this podcast as a job, honestly. Like really Alex Cooper vibes. Like she just interviewed Kamala Harris. Like that's really cool. Like it would have been cool if she interviewed like Trump too, like if she had both of them on, which I think he said no. I think she did try to. Just cool in terms of like, holy shit, Alex Cooper is interviewing the vice president of the United States and the 2025 presidential candidate. That's really cool that Alex Cooper is doing that. So I'm gonna give her props, because regardless if you like or dislike the candidate, for me, from like a viewer, like a podcaster that's like knows this girl from like Barstool to now doing that, like that's pretty cool. It's a huge accomplishment. So yeah, if I could like, I don't necessarily want to interview presidential candidates if I'm being like 100% honest. But like if I could interview Ariana Madix, which I've said before, that'd be sick. Or like any housewife that I love, or even housewife that I don't love. Like imagine interviewing Mary Cosby, for those of you that watch Housewives, or like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I don't know if you guys are watching that or if you watched it, but like I would love to interview like Taylor. Like she did Nick Vile's podcast, and I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have her on my podcast. This would be fun for me to do as a job, but I guess I don't like, you know, always love adulting, but it's fun, but it's hard, but it's fun. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm trying to lean into gratitude. I gotta, let me backtrack. I'm lying. I'm not trying to lean into gratitude. I'm doing a terrible job, but I'm aware of it, and I need to move differently because I have so many things to be grateful for. So I just need to remember that. And I also need to remember that if I failed, it's okay. I always get back up after I fail. And not everything's gonna work the first time. And to be fair, it's not like really the first time for me. I've been like doing this now for a little bit. So that's the tea, guys, with my life this week. I'm just shot. I have like nothing to give. And that's reality. I think I just need to get adjusted to my new schedule, to my new life. I'm in a new place, obviously, which is different. I haven't explored. I'm a Long Island girly now. And I do really like Long Island, but you know, I just haven't, I don't know. I haven't lived. I don't know. I just feel like the most uncreative, uninspired, ugliest, dumbest bitch on earth right now. But we're gonna get it together, because I know that that's not true. So I'm like in this phase where I can't trust my brain. Like where I'm like, you can't trust your brain right now. Your brain is being very mean. I literally the other day was like, shut the fuck up and get out, get away from me, to myself, like to one of the voices in my head. Because sometimes you got to tell that past version of you to fuck off, because that past version of you is like your brain trying to protect you from the fear of doing something new and trying something different. And that fear can get so loud if you let it. And you got to let go and let God, because I am I gotta let go of it. It's too exhausting to have this conversation over and over and over with yourself and be on repeat. So if you're having those bad thoughts, you literally gotta be like, bitch, fuck off. Like, this is literally what's going on in my head. There's like one voice that's like, you suck, you're the worst, you're terrible. And there's another voice that's like, bitch, shut the fuck up before I fuck you up. You don't serve a purpose anymore. And then this one's like, and then she's like, get out. Anyway, that was my visual Pac-Man representation of my brain. And I'm going to go now. So let's end with my high and low of the week. This is a quick episode. My high of the week. This is terrible that I'm like sitting here struggling for a high of the week when there's so many things. Well, my couch is coming on Saturday, so that's a high. And I'm doing the damn thing. I'm doing it scared. So that's a high too. My low of the week is clearly my mental state. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry that I'm being a bummer today, but I got to keep it real. So I love you. Please send any questions, comments, concerns, stories you want to share to tgrpod.nyc@gmail.com. Love you. Bye.